Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Hanuman. Shri Ram Jai Sita Ram. In the ancient story from India, the Ramayana, Ram is born on earth, and Ram represents the absolute. He's born on earth at a time when things are really bad to help make them better. And his beloved Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, is born as well. Ram is actually Vishnu, the preserver. And he's born into a family in Ayodhya where his father is the king. And Sita is born in a nearby community, and they meet and marry. And when they're young adults, the king decides that it's time for Ram to become the king. And everyone is very happy because Ram would make the perfect king. So they're getting ready to have a big celebration to coronate him. And then through a series of predestined events that have to do with Ram going to do the work to help the world, the king finds he must, instead of coronating Ram, exile him to the forest for 14 years. When he tells Ram, everyone is very upset. But Ram says, the forest or the palace, it's all the same to me. And he leaves with his brother Lakshman and his wife Sita to go to the forest for 14 years. They travel a ways into the forest, stopping here and there, and they come to a river. At the river there is a boatman who takes people across. And the boatman has heard of Ram. He has heard that sometimes when Ram touches things, they turn into other things. And he does not want his boat turned into something else because he needs it to take people across so he can earn a living. And he tells Ram this. Ram smiles, and he says, I'll tell you what, why don't you wash my feet? Because the boatman was afraid that the dust of Rama's feet would do the transforming of the boat. And so, the boatman got a bowl of water, and he washed Ram's feet. As he washed Ram's feet, he was overcome with a sense of the absolute. He was filled with love. And Ram stepped into the boat. Then he washed Lakshman's feet. And as the boatman washed Lakshman's feet, he was overcome with a sense of service and of love. And he dried Lakshman's feet, and Lakshman stepped into the boat. And then the boatman washed Sita's feet. And as he washed Sita's feet, the boatman was overcome with a sense of vulnerability and power and love. Then the boatman got in the boat, facing Ram and Lakshman and Sita, who were seated on the bench, and he was seated in the bow. And he began rowing with his oars backwards across the river. As he rowed, he looked at their faces. He looked particularly at Ram's face. And he was immersed in the sense of the absolute, the oneness, the deep knowingness, the deep constancy, the love. Sita was running her hand through the water over the side of the boat. The further he rowed, the more he was immersed. So by the time he got to the end and helped them out of the boat, he said, "I'm going with you. I'm going with you. I'm leaving this boat here." Ram said, "No. Your job is to stay here with the boat. My job is to be exiled with Lakshman and Sita. And we will be back in 14 years, and we will see you then." The boatman tried to argue, but he could not, and he had to accept that his job was to stay with the boat. And off they went. The boatman rowed back across, so filled with sadness to leave Ram and that sense of the absolute. He built an altar there at the side of the river where he had washed their feet. And he returned to his work as a boatman, as Ram had instructed. He didn't think he could last 14 years until Ram returned. However, every day when he rowed people across the river, they sat on that same bench where Ram and Sita and Lakshman had sat, and he looked at their faces as he went across. And he began a practice of seeing Ram, Sita, and Lakshman in every face that sat across from him. And the more he did that, the more he saw the absolute in all of those faces, and the more he was filled again with the sense of oneness, the sense of the absolute, the sense of love. As the years went by, he became less and less concerned with when Ram would return and when he would see Ram's face, and more immersed in the absolute in every day, with every face, with every ride across the river. And by the time the day came that Ram returned, he was glad to see him, but it didn't really make any difference who he took across the river. Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan, Jaya Bhagavan.